Everyone, welcome to Apocalyptic Haven. We're doing things a bit differently today. We've got a video con for our Dating in 2019 podcast, and I've assembled a panel of true believers and heroes. First off, I've got Melissa. She's 19, single, photographer's assistant, and she models for fun. What's up, Melissa?
Hi, I'm good. How are you?
Awesome. Then we've got Tara. Tara just turned 30. She's kind of single. She said she's dating herself, but I'm pretty sure she's still searching for that perfect girl. She's a product designer for mobile apps and websites. She's an ENTP, and she's into gaming. Rather play games than people, eh?
Yeah. What up, how you guys?
What's up, Tara? And then we've got Dominique. She's 24, mama bear, currently in a relationship, former nature conservationist, specialized in captive animal management. And apparently the robot dance is a go-to thing in awkward situations. We'll probably see it soon. Then we've also got my buddy Dana, 32, pure as fuck, married to one of the most awesome women I know. What's up, Spaz? She's sex positive, unconventional, and non-conforming, living life in the pursuit of great food, great orgasms, and great connections.
Hi.
What's up, Dana?
Guys. Hello.
Guys, we've got a diverse panel here, and the whole point of this is just to have a discussion. I remember a time when I started dating, we didn't have cell phones, we didn't have Facebook. I remember when you met someone on the street, you would tell them, okay, I'll see you on this day at this time, and you didn't talk to them until then, coffee shop. And
it's a far cry from sliding into the DMs.
Hey, for me, cell phones only came into play when I was in varsity. And I've been there for Tinder, I've been there for Bumble. I met a hell of a lot of women on Twitter, Facebook. So I've ridden the wave, so to speak. But one thing that gets me is I've probably been out of touch for a while, and I've seen things have changed. So I want to get a view, what's dating like today? And I think Dominique, I'll start with you. What is your experience of dating?
Well, I have to say it's quite difficult sometimes. There's a lot of barriers. Mostly social media is a barrier. But I think if you're in tune with yourself and you know what you want, I think it's easier then. But if you're socially awkward, it's kind of hard.
But doesn't the social media make it easier then? Or how do you normally meet
I think the social media makes it easier, but afterwards, when you actually have to meet that person face to face, it's terrifying.
Melissa, I see you saying yes.
Yeah, it's like when you're speaking to somebody on the phone, it's easier. So you're kind of more confident, and then you meet them in person and you're like, oh shit, now I have to be confident too. And it's hard. Like, I get what she's saying.
So Tori, you've got something to say there. You're also nodding.
Yeah. No, I totally agree, especially when it comes to, like putting out memes and stuff like that. GIFs, all those things, like online, you feel like, okay, cool, I can't go wrong, because you still have some time to reply as well to what people are asking you or talking to you about.
Like, think about your answer before you reply.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Dana, I think you're probably in a different space there, because I know from our interactions, and we've known each other for a while, is that the both of us are a bit, what's the word? Confident? And we approach it a bit differently.
I love the idea of getting to know someone online. You get to sort of represent yourself however you want. And by the time you meet someone, they can Google you, It cuts a lot of bullshit out.
That's true. That's true. And I mean, this brings up an interesting thing because you've all said the same thing as you can be one type of person online, but then when you actually meet the people, it's something else. But before we get to that, I want to know, how do guys approach you day to day? Like, do they just slide into the DMs, or do they actually come up
Slide in the
and talk to
DMs.
you in person? Like, let's hear what's happening these days.
I think usually, like for social media, they do slide in the DMs, you know, like they just be like, hey, how you doing? Like, can I maybe get your number or something? But
Send you a suggestive meme.
They send you memes. Are you serious? Okay, so like Dominique is laughing. Dom, what was the meme that did it for you?
No, I didn't have experience though. I actually met my guy at work, so I approached him. I was the brave heart.
Nice.
Oh,
nice.
and Sarah, how do you approach it?
Sure. So like, yeah, I'm normally the pursuer, as it were. So there was this one time at Pride where I thought, okay, cool, let me try my new pickup line that I was like workshopping. So I gently bumped into this one girl that I thought was, you know, pretty fine looking. And I said to her, oh no, should we exchange numbers for insurance purposes?
See, I love stuff like that. Like if you can make me laugh by the first, like with your pickup line, that's amazing. Like I love that.
That's like the in.
Yeah.
There's too many people out there. You've got to be interesting.
Yeah.
How do you do it? How do you get someone's attention, Dana?
Cleavage usually.
Ah,
So true.
No, that's
hey, use what works, eh?
Exactly.
So let's check this out. So they slid into your DMs. You've shown some cleavage. What's next? Like when you guys meet at the date, like can you describe like what was the worst date that you had, or like the scariest? Dominique, what do
You
you?
asking me?
Yes. Dominique.
Okay. I think the worst thing is actually not knowing the person from the beginning. Like you haven't spoken often, so it's like okay, once or twice a day you talk about meeting up, and then you actually meet up, and you don't know what to talk about. You don't know what's a common interest. That's terrifying. I think that's the most terrifying thing. You don't know what to talk about, and it's just going to be silent the whole time, and you're like sipping on coffee or your beer or whatever, and it's just like, okay, can you just please speak to me?
I won't meet up with someone I haven't chatted to for at least a month.
That's
Just
really
because
good.
Like you don't know if you know them. You don't know if they're worth your time. Like I really won't meet up with someone who I don't already have a connection with.
Wait, like a month? You're chatting to them for a full-on month?
Yeah.
Like
That's a good amount of time, yeah.
I'm just gonna throw this
4
out
weeks.
there. I'm gonna throw this out there, but I chat to girls online. I meet you within the first 3 days, normally.
Dang.
It depends on what you want.
Yeah, I don't wait. I don't.
I'm not
That's
I'm not
quick.
inviting myself
Like a
into
week or
public. Yeah.
No, but the thing
I'm not inviting someone into my space until I know they're not dodgy.
Yeah.
God, your energy, yeah.
Like Dominique said, like it's like you sometimes you speak with them and then you meet up and then you have nothing in common and then you have nothing to speak about and it's awkward and you're just sitting there sipping your coffee, you know. So it's
Wasting
better.
each other's time.
Yeah, exactly.
I think in what I'm doing and what you're doing is almost the same. Is I would rather not waste time chatting to someone for a month. I would rather, because what you can chat to someone, but who they are online is not who they are in person.
Yeah.
Them,
Oh, yeah.
find out if there's a click. If not, then we know, okay, we can either be friends, we can either pursue this, or we can just call it quits. I think from my point of view, that's what happened, or that's one of the things. Yeah.
It's really difficult as well because sometimes online someone is completely out there. They put themselves out there, and then when you meet like face to face, they're the total opposite. They don't really look you in the eye. I don't know. It's just they pretend to be someone else online. So it's
They're more
difficult.
confident out there.
But that's interesting, and I'm going to put this question to the panel again, because what I found is, like you're saying, people pretend to be someone else on social media. It's easy to hide behind a keyboard, and then when you meet them in person, it's something completely different. Do you think that is because of a lack of maturity with today's dating culture, or is it just that people are just not mature enough, or that technology is advancing at such a rate that our maturity has not caught up with it yet?
Yes.
Yeah. I feel like the last one, 100%.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like the maturity thing. I think that's good because, like, if you, like me, I'm still young, so I feel like I am guilty of doing that. Like, I'm way more confident on the social medias and stuff than I am in person. Like, I'm still learning to find myself and everything. So I'm definitely guilty of that, and I could say that I'm not mature enough to have a relationship yet. Like, so yes, I think that is true. Like the younger people aren't mature enough, and social media does influence that too. Yeah.
That's interesting. Do you guys think, and I've noticed something, I'm just bringing it back to from when I was in high school, is the way we used to interact was we would go out and we would just meet each other and we would talk to each other. Nowadays, I think kids, more than anything else, talk to each other online, especially those who are not that confident or who are still finding themselves as you're speaking. Tara, what do you...
I mean, there's strength in that.
Dana, yeah? You were saying?
There's strength in that because you aren't putting yourself in an awkward position up front. Like, I think a lot of people were burned by the old ways of dating because you have to be in a certain environment with a certain group of people to hopefully meet someone who now you can go online and legit find people in your tribe. Like, you can find people who are into what you're into so that it doesn't have to be an awkward, has it? I don't know who I am yet. You can bond over things you've already got.
I like that because...
In the same, yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I was going to say, in the same vein, doesn't that make it easier for people to kind of, okay, cool, we didn't click, but now I can just swipe somebody else in like a millisecond when I open up my Tinder app here, to go find somebody else, you know, that's maybe more aligned to myself and what my values and all that. But what you put on Tinder, your profile, it's mostly different in my experience to the people that I've met in person. Like, they say things like, oh, I feel this way about this, and you know, I enjoy doing that and this, but in person they're completely different, even their photos.
I think it's a lot, like the Tinder thing specifically is because, like, if
Always tick all your boxes, and that's something you can work towards. I mean,
Yeah.
not everyone is perfect, and I think that's the perfect thing about it, is you can work on it. You can try and communicate about it and say, okay, listen, I want you to understand that I also have needs. I understand you have needs. Let's see if we can meet each other's needs.
I agree. Dana, I like what you said about the fact that you can get different things from different people. And myself, I've found that to be true, especially as I've gotten older and I've dated more people. And it's quite interesting because not a lot of people will agree to that type of lifestyle. And I think it's quite difficult if you're a type of person and you actually find out that here's a person that intellectually stimulates me, here's a person that sexually stimulates me, here's a person that I can go on adventures with. And a lot of the time it's not the same person. And like, how do you deal with that in day-to-day life? Because for me, it's almost just better to be single than it is to actually get in a relationship, because it's hard to find someone that understands that type of lifestyle. How have you found that to be?
Me personally.
Yeah, you personally.
It's, for me, it goes as simple as like, my wife likes camping. That's not my job. Keep me in the city. But just because I'm not gonna pack up my rugby gear and run away to the forest with her doesn't mean I'm not like committed to her in a relationship. But I'd be quite okay with her finding someone else to go camping with, and it doesn't distract from what we have. So it kind of allows people to not put limitations on the relationships they have. Like, you might have I'd rather she go camping with a girl who's really into camping, than me being jealous about her having a secret relationship.
That's so awesome. Oh my gosh. I love that so much. Hey.
Thanks.
It's almost like you get to experience like the pure essence of that person then. Because then
Absolutely.
Put on like, okay, cool, now I have to like the theater because my girlfriend likes the theater or my boyfriend likes the theater, so now I have to go with them. You can actually find somebody else who loves the theater and you can just be authentically open with them in that regard. That's beautiful.
And whether that's sexual or not doesn't like, it sort of just leaves things open to a authentic, natural thing.
Beautiful.
And I think a lot of the drama that we see in almost like relationships today is where the one partner doesn't want the other partner to go have fun with somebody else. You know?
Oh my gosh.
How dare you?
100%.
Oh, yeah. Melissa, you have an experience.
Like my friend is in a relationship now, and she likes like going out to clubs and stuff, and he doesn't, but he has a problem with her doing that, you know. So that's bad. Like, you should like this is exactly what we're talking about now. Like, when she goes out to clubs, she doesn't like have sex with somebody else. She just goes to dance and enjoy herself. So like, why can't she just do that, you know? It's fine that she's okay that he likes staying at home, but he's not okay that she likes going out, you know, which is like not on in my mind. Like, yeah.
Any good relationship, you should want people to get the fulfillment out of life that they're looking for.
Exactly.
Some of it should surely come from you, and some of it is just their things.
Exactly.
See, I like this. This is where my thinking was going for a few years ago. Now, they know we've spoken about this, is that you can have like one main partner that you do life with, but there's other people that you do other stuff with. I mean, there's girls I've met that I could go on amazing adventures with them, but I couldn't talk to them. And then there were girls that I could talk to, but I couldn't again go out and have fun with, you know? And I think it helps the relationship because it makes you a happier person if you're fulfilled in all those other aspects of your life with other people, because then you come home and you're happy with your partner because you're more fulfilled. Versus you trying to get all that fulfillment from one person, now you're trying to love out of lack. I mean, you can't give what you don't have.
You
know? I mean, that's the thing. You got to fill the tank. Once the tank is filled, it's better for your partner. So it's in that person's best interest that you're out there living your best life, not in the sense that you're doing crazy stuff, but obviously it's
I want to.
Yeah.
you want a partner who brings out the best in you, not a partner who's trying to keep you for themselves. I don't need a chaperone.
100%.
Awesome. That's what I'm talking about. It's like, and the thing is, here's my question. Does that level of understanding come with experience in dating, or where does it come from?
I want to say instinctive. I don't know.
Yeah, that's what I was feeling too, like from your brain. Like
It's got to come from you.
Yeah, but my thing is, how does it come about? Because in my experience, that's something that only comes about via experience. And you've also got to be incredibly aware of what you're doing, and you've got to not try to fit a square through a rectangular hole or through a triangular hole, which is what a lot of people do with relationships. They try to force this person to go and do the things that they want to do.
I think people are out here dating, not making themselves number one. If you know yourself, you're far better off. I don't think it's necessarily an experience thing, but if you come into a relationship not knowing you and what you want and what you'll put up with and what you won't, that's when you open yourself up to mess. Things get messy when you add another person to your life.
Definitely, I get that, because like I feel like I'm in that situation now where I don't fully know myself yet. So I have tried with people, like the honeymoon phase or whatever, where I just get to know them, but it never works out because I don't fully know who I am yet. So I can't tell them that or share that with them because I don't know.
Who said they were dating themselves?
Me.
I think Tara's...
Tell us more, Tara.
Everyone's doing it right across the board. Yeah, Tara, I think you and I are in the same space. I take myself on dates, take myself on vacations. It's lovely.
It's so much fun, because that's when you truly get to know yourself without somebody else telling you who you are, in a way. Because I find like sometimes in my past experience with people that I've been seeing or whatever, they're very quick to tell you who you are from their perspective, but it's very acute because they don't know you. Yeah, they don't know you like you know yourself, or like you wanting to get to know yourself. Like, do I like the West Coast? Do I like hot food? Like, it's nice when you get to kind of like experience that with yourself, by yourself, for yourself, and then you can kind of build your voice. Like that's what I found about myself. I don't know about you, Charles, but like I found that I needed to step outside of dating other people to kind of like experience myself so that I can build my voice so that I know who I am without nobody can tell me who I am.
That's perfect. Yeah, that's exactly it. And to your point, one of the things I realized about myself throughout this dating thing was I was putting the other person before me, being a bit of an empath. I feel what the other person's feeling, so I was always like, let's not hurt this person, let's do this, at the expense of myself. And I was incredibly unhappy. And I think you need to come to a point, like you say, where you put yourself first in the relationship. It's like you have to. You're the one who lives with yourself every single second of every day. If you're unhappy, you're going to be living with an unhappy person. It doesn't help anybody. So do what's best for you, because if that person was meant to stay with you, they would stay with you. You know what I'm saying? So I think for some reason, a lot of us have this mentality where we've got to make it work. We've got to make it work. But if it's not working, why force it?
And I think it takes a string of shitty relationships to get to a point where you're like, this is not what I want anymore. I know that I came out of a horrific relationship before I met my wife, and there was just certain things I wasn't okay with. I was like, we're not going to do it that way. I can't do it that way. If you want to be with me, you've got to like meet me on the same page.
Yeah, look, we got to grow
And
together.
Dana, do you feel like you? Sorry.
Yeah, go for it, Tara.
No, I was gonna ask, like, Dana, do you feel like you learned a lot out of that particular relationship that you came out of about yourself?
Absolutely. You know, when you break up with someone who has like wrecked your life, and you almost have to pick yourself up and be like, who am I at the end of the day? It was sort of the process of figuring who that person was. By the time I started a new relationship, I was like, this has to be on my terms. What am I doing in a relationship if I'm not being the best me? The shitty relationship taught me to stand up for myself, to play by my own rules. That, I mean, the horrible relationship was spanned something like 7 years. After 7 years, to wake up and not recognize yourself, I was never going to put myself through that again. I was like, I'm going into this as me. Somebody else has to, you fit in or you check out.
Tom, how do you feel about that?
No, I totally agree. You have to be okay with who you are, and that other person just kind of has to adjust. You just click with that right person, because at the end of the day, if you're both yourselves, it's just going to be easier. And I mean, if somebody is not willing to accept you for who you are, I'm not going to change for anyone. I'm sorry.
That's true. And I think that's probably where women are stronger than men, or at least from what I've seen in my relationships. This is awesome. We've actually run out of time, if you believe it or not.
Really?
We ran out of time like 2
I saw the
Women have
pop-up.
lots to say.
Yeah, I think we should do a part 2. What do you What do you guys think? Awesome.
Game.
This was powerful.
Definitely. There's so much more to discuss still about like relationships.
Yeah. Can we have closing thoughts? This is like Springer stuff. Final thoughts.
So I was thinking about like what you guys were speaking about just now, and I haven't been in a lot of relationships, but I do pay close attention to my friends' relationships and stuff, and I feel like I've gained a lot of experience somehow from that alone, like seeing their bad, not necessarily bad, but bad relationships, like teach me how to kind of respect myself more and know what I want in a relationship. Like Dana said, about knowing what you want and going into the relationship and being like, this is what I want and this is how I want, needed to work for me. Like, this is what I need in a relationship, you know? Like, I haven't been in a lot, but I've learned that from other people's relationships.
That's good. Thanks, Melissa. Tara, what you got?
Yeah, no, it's interesting times that we're living in with 2019 and technology versus who we are in real life. I feel like that we can talk for years about that particular topic. But yeah, it's interesting. It's all very, very scary, like how we can't be vulnerable anymore, and how it like it almost paralyzes us. Yeah, just insane. Like I'm keen for part 2, ready for part 2.
Awesome stuff. Thanks, Tara. Dom, what you got?
Okay, so basically dating in 2019, it has a lot of obstacles, I think, but if you want it, go out and get it. Honestly, it's whatever works for you, and if it doesn't, walk away.
Awesome. I like that. Dana, what you got?
Some parting thoughts. I guess it's important for people to be safe out there. Like, take care of yourselves. I mean, make yourself number one, and you bring a whole person into a new relationship. First and foremost, know thyself.
to that own self be true.
Yeah.
Awesome.
I love it.
Hi everyone, hope you enjoyed part 1 in Dating in 2019 series. Make sure to subscribe so that you don't miss part 2.